What looked like a comfortable night for England almost turned into one of the biggest shocks of the World Cup. 7 minutes in, DR Congo stunned the Three Lions. Brian Sapenga struck early, England were behind, and suddenly the pressure of knockout football was no longer just a phrase. It was real, it was heavy, and it was written across every England face. For most of the match, England pushed, probed, and searched for a way through. But DR Congo would not fold. Their goalkeeper, Lionel Mpasse, was inspired. The clock kept ticking, the anxiety kept rising, and with England staring at a possible World Cup disaster, one man stepped forward. Harry Kane. Not once, twice. And by full time, England fans were not just celebrating a comeback. They were demanding something much bigger, a knighthood for their captain. England went into their World Cup knockout clash with DR Congo knowing there was no room for error. Win, and the dream stayed alive. Lose, and the tournament would end in humiliation. But the nightmare began almost immediately. In the 7th minute, Brian Sapenga gave DR Congo the lead. England were caught cold, and suddenly the match had a completely different feel. The underdogs had belief, England had pressure, and every misplaced pass, every blocked shot, every missed chance only made the tension worse. The Three Lions tried to respond, but DR Congo stayed organized and disciplined. England found themselves frustrated again and again, with Lionel Mpasse producing the kind of performance that can turn a knockout tie into a horror story for the favorites. As the minutes passed, the question became louder. Where was the breakthrough going to come from? England kept attacking. They kept loading the box. They kept trying to force the moment. But the equalizer refused to arrive. Then, in the 75th minute, the captain answered. Harry Kane rose to meet the ball and headed England level. After all the pressure, all the frustration, all the fear, England finally had a way back into the match. But one goal was not enough. The game was still alive. DR Congo were still dangerous. England still needed one more moment to avoid extra pressure, extra nerves, and possibly extra time drama. And with just 4 minutes of normal time remaining, Kane delivered again. This time, it was a brilliant goal to complete the comeback. England had gone from staring at a shock defeat to leading 2-1. The captain had not just rescued them, he had dragged them over the line. When the final whistle came, England had survived. DR Congo were beaten. The Three Lions were through. And online, the reaction exploded. Fans immediately began calling for Kane to be knighted. One supporter wrote that if England win the World Cup, Harry Kane should receive a knighthood immediately. Another said that, considering players who had been knighted in the past, it should already have been Sir Harry Kane before the tournament even began. A third fan tagged the royal family and called for Kane to be knighted, while another insisted there should be no smaller honor first straight to knighthood. It was emotional, it was dramatic, and it showed exactly what Kane means to England supporters in moments like this. After the match, Kane spoke to the BBC and admitted just how intense the night had been. He described it as an amazing feeling, calling it a crazy game against a tough and organized team. He also pointed to the first hydration break as a turning point, saying England raised their level after that moment. And then came the line that summed up the night. Kane said it was about keeping going. Keep pounding the rock. That phrase told the story of England's performance. They were behind early. They were frustrated for long periods. Their chances were denied. Their rhythm was tested. But they kept pushing. They kept believing. And eventually, their captain found the cracks. Kane also spoke about hero moments in knockout football. He said those moments can belong to anyone. It could be Jordan Pickford making a vital save. It could be any player stepping up when the pressure is at its highest. But against DR Congo, it was Kane's turn. And he took it. This was not just another goal-scoring performance. This was a rescue act. England were close to a World Cup scare that would have dominated headlines for all the wrong reasons. Instead, Kane changed the story. From panic to relief, from danger to survival, from a potential collapse to a captain's comeback. That is why the knighthood talk came so quickly. In knockout football, reputations are shaped in minutes. And in the space of 11 minutes, Kane turned England's night around. Now, England move on. Their attention turns to a last 1-6 clash with co-hosts Mexico, with the match set to be played in the early hours of Monday morning at the iconic Azteca Stadium. But before that, this game will be remembered for one thing above all else: Harry Kane refusing to let England fall. DR Congo shocked them early. England struggled for answers. The pressure grew. The clock became the enemy. Then Kane rose. First, the equalizer. Then, the winner. 2 goals, 1 comeback, and a captain who once again carried the weight of a nation. Whether the calls for Sir Harry Kane become reality or not, England fans already know what they saw. They saw their captain rescue a World Cup campaign when it was heading towards disaster. They saw a leader deliver when the risk was highest. And they saw England survive a night that could have ended very differently. The Three Lions are still alive. And Harry Kane is the reason why.